24 wins. 44. Win. Anybody smaller than 7? Okay, 7 is the winner. Where are you from? Venezuela. All right. Well, okay. So, the point I wanted to make is, I came to A&M from a graduating class of 33. So I did find a few out here that were smaller than mine. And I must tell you, coming to an institution like A&M, when everybody else was from Houston, was a little intimidating. Okay, I mean, it just seemed like everybody you met was from Houston. But the thing that I found is, when I came to fish camp 44 years ago, it was quite different. But what it gave me was a connection. I met people that I had no idea who they were. And I will tell you today, 44 years later, many of those fish camp friends are still my friends. No matter where they are, they continue. Now, there were probably about as many people at fish camp, in all of fish camp, as there is in one session now. There was about probably 1,000 freshmen. Can you not hear me?
I can.
Well, you're deaf. No, she's not deciding something. She can't hear. Well, how about if I get out and amongst them, okay? I don't know if you can hear me better back here, maybe the ones in the back. Can you hear? Okay. At any rate, I came to Texas A&M. I was a poor kid. I didn't really have a great educational background. You can imagine coming from a high school that had 33 in its graduating class, but I had good teachers. And at that time, let's talk about the things that are the same and the things that are different. There weren't any of these. No women. 1963, actually in the spring of 1963, the legislature passed legislation that for the first time authorized women on a limited basis to attend Texas A&M. There was this great fear among the former students, all men male, that if they let women in, the place was going to fall apart. What do you think? I mean, did it fall apart?
Negative Ghost Rider, no.
I don't think so. In fact, we should have known better because, you know, we all had mothers, most of us did. And the mothers were always engaged in carrying on the traditions, being involved with the school, doing things that were for the benefit of the students, but carrying on that Aggie spirit and tradition. And so when women came, they picked it up exactly like it was from the men. In fact, maybe we're a little bit more fired up about tradition. I will tell you, I think women carry that tradition along, the Aggie spirit, in fabulous ways. And they are, by the way, in the classroom, always pretty competitive, just so you know, we had figured it out. The other thing that's changed is it was all military. So if you came in 1963, you didn't have a choice. You were in the Corps of Cadets. And it was, again, there were about probably 7,000 students. So it wasn't a great big place, but you didn't have a lot of choices. It was, as I've described it many times, it was then in black and white. Now it's in technicolor. That's the difference that the institution is, what it's changed to. But some things, some characteristics about it that haven't changed. As I look around the room and I spent the day sort of watching and enjoying what you were doing, the kids that come to Texas A&M tend to self-select. They come because they want something beyond just an education. They want to be a part of something. They want to be a part of something that has a deep-rooted value system around things like loyalty, friendship, integrity, selfless service, which is for decades what our institution has stood for. So all of you could have made a choice to go anywhere you wanted to. You make up a freshman class that is absolutely outstanding in terms of your competitiveness academically. But my guess is most of you have chosen to be here for other reasons than just academics, because it is a very, very special place. How many in the room have some kind of Aggie connection? Just hold it up. Yeah, that's not surprising. Because, you know, we start singing the war hymn when you get in the cradle, and you know you learn all the yells and trails when you're growing up, and it's part of the Aggie tradition and what we do. But it tends to spill over on others that don't have that family connection or involvement. So you're at a very, very special place. But let me tell you another thing that I think makes it special. You're starting on a new venture. For the first time in your life, most likely, you're totally free. You get to make your own choices. That sounds like a wonderful idea. It can be a little scary, and it can be challenging too. So what I think A&M does also is it provides a great number of safety nets. So I'm going to urge you, if you get in a position where you're not so sure about what you're doing or why, the choices you're making, or you're really not even feeling comfortable, go find somebody to talk to. It may be a faculty member, and likely will be. It may be a fish camp counselor. That's one of the ways that this carries on. You'll find when you leave here, the folks that you're associated with in your discussion groups and the others that you interact with will become a safety net. They'll be able to answer questions. They'll be able to give you some ideas. They'll be able to maybe shed a tear with you if that's necessary. And that around A&M, that culture of caring for each other is what distinguishes our institution every other. Plenty of places you can go and get a great education, become an engineer, a scientist, a business person, but at Texas A&M you're going to be a family. It's going to be part of what your life is for as long as you can. It's going to be really, really special. You'll look back on this week, I can remember 44 years ago. Didn't do any dancing, just mostly did tag football out on the grass and things like that boys did in those days. But I made friends, and we talked about things that were really important to us as we were starting on this journey that you're going to be starting. Now, let me just stop a minute because I don't want to take all the time telling you what I think. I think you're going to have a great time, and by the way, it's also very important to have a little fun. Obviously, you learned how to do that in the last few days. And I see a lot of camaraderie and friendships forming that will carry you through. I'm going to make one other offer to you, and then I'm going to stop and answer some questions if you have any. And if we don't, we'll plant some. I'm sure the counselors can get some. They're so intimidating. But here's the offer. One of the things we pride on our campus is being friendly. We pride each other in saying howdy. We pride ourselves in welcoming visitors and also whipping out. Here's my deal for you. The first one of you that I see on campus after school starts that's wearing a Camp Davis t-shirt, right, that comes up to me and whips out and says, by the way, Dr. Davis, I was at fish camp and you're my namesake. I'm going to hold the place in the president's box for the first football game. And on top of that, you get to bring one person with you. Okay? Stalking is not allowed. And I will tell you also, we probably don't have any seats, but that's okay. You can stand in the back, have a great time. You know, be with me and Joanne and welcome our guests and show them what it's like to be a student in Texas A&M. So, first day of school, you find me and whip out. You got 2 tickets in the box, okay? Everybody good with that? All right, let's stop there and see. No limits. What are the questions? Surely you got Jessica.
Could you maybe give them a few places where they could find you on the first day?
It's cheap.
Like your house?